that way. And for friberg, if he can get that information straight away, put an incendiary down to that ramp position, try and force a cancel or even a double pump from xtatic. A couple of players to defend this A site very deep. No one's aggressive.
Two flashes into ramp. Manx going to get counteracted by an incendiary. Could be a double pump setup, but they've utilized all their smokes. There's one left. Oh, Manx has found one dropped in spawn, actually, so there is a little bit that they can work with. Wait for a moment. Further utility out towards the mid control. In fact, they're not even going to utilize the smoke. The second one for the set piece indicates something more out of this one. friberg just jumping for information, but xtatic look to go out quickly into the bomb site. There'll be very little vision suppression except for the flashbangs that they've got in tow.
The AWP of oldzera's nowhere near to be seen, all the way out from the B apartments. It's going to have to come down the riflers to defend A.
Heap comes up, does get dealt with that towards jungle. f0rest is also in position, will take some damage to the Molotov, get forced out into the open here. Aggressive FaZe, doesn't quite win it out, eventually gets Dafu, and Wolfie such low HP, so f0rest can extend his kill count up to 18 now. Manx with a trade back, but Lekra with a gap and a smoke will catch f0rest, and it's Manx alone for the quadra clutch of his own in a 1v3 scenario. However, a lot of work to be done, and very little space to do it in. Lekra has at least been seen. The taps forward might force oldzera forward. Manx is hoping for that bait and switch. The bomb could also go down from here. Will they try to spam? They won't. They'll get the bomb plant in, but they'll get it immediately.
Yeah, gets the extra money. That's a bonus to come in for xtatic. DIGNITAS relying on the anchors being able to gather information and wasting time. See how Heat playing in top con and that jungle position just gets a 1-for-1. friberg out in CT, he's just pulling distraction. And then f0rest, he's getting double mollied in jungle on the rotate. He aggresses forward, gets a couple of kills, and rather than getting hungry for any more, just diving back in a connector. Playing behind that smoke, playing the numbers game, and DIGNITAS taking the lead back themselves.
And a two on the trot for this CT side. xtatic. We're feeling xtatic by gaining that pistol and the conversions and the fourth of the gun v gun round, but we're right back in control for the Swedes. Look at Lil's out for Manx, so limitations still available for xtatic. They've seen where Heap is, that towards connected. They'll try and hunt him down, flashes forward. Also check out the short control where f0rest is going to be lurking from. There's still a couple of rounds so far on the CT side. He won't get an aggressive chance this time around. Mid-control default for xtatic.
And one of the first times we've actually seen hyper pace coming through from either one of these teams. xtatic going very far forward to gaining that short control to allow Bird from Sky to get into ladder. And f0rest is waiting for a repeak in con.
Oh, spray through from Heat, wins out the fight. f0rest falling effectively. They do catch off oldzera at 5 HP. Heap quickly baits and switches back in for an easy kill against the T-side line. oldzera follows suit on Dafu in Palace, and it's a 2v5 instead. xtatic falling apart so easily. Another one of these confident rounds for Dig.
It almost has that indication that if Dig can allow themselves to get an opening couple of fights, everything comes together. The discipline is there, the peak on contact, and some of the survival natures too. Notice the way that oldzera is really struggling to reposition out in jungle, and Heap's just there to not only get that player of Manx that's playing in con, but to also be the assistant out there to that ladder room position. Bird from Sky, he might have had the positional advantage, but he did not win the fight.
Once again, Wolfie's left as the lone attacker to save. Keep the orb. Unfortunately, the CTs won't go hunting for him, or at least if they do, they shouldn't reach him in time. And once again, it's DIGNITAS in full control of this map-up, of this CT side. 12-10. Things are really starting to build now.
And just have it in your mind, Jay, that if DIGNITAS won both pistols, or even if we just take those rounds away, let's just say, okay, we didn't play the first 3 rounds of either half, we'd be looking at a 12-3 scoreline. So it just shows the level of impact that xtatic have found to get up to 10 has majoritarily been the start in the halves. When it comes to actual rifle rounds, we have seen bare minimum success coming through from the Danes.
Niko basis now for xtatic. Looking for 13 for DIGNITAS. Unlucky for xtatic, it will feel like. Positions held for the CT side. Passive control for xtatic themselves. We'll try and gain some mid presence, but what can they do with it?
And knowing that you've got an AWP in play, just getting some of the players to aggress forward, to draw those fights, get those CTs off of their positions and further forward. Even f0rest keeping eyes up onto this short position is going to start gathering the information of the mass numbers that are here in mid.
f0rest opens things up on Dafu. Wolfie hunting for a pick. Desperate to catch something on the site. friberg might just give it up to him, actually. They might not be ready for this. They smoke top con. Will the AWP get his chance? Doesn't seem like it. Wolfie's going to force forward instead. The timing could be perfect for the CT side. Lecro finally caught. 4v4. Can he get friberg next? If he does so, it might be enough to open up the A bomb site. The next concern will be Heap, though. Incendiary's going down. AK in sight. friberg just waiting in a default. They're not moving, though.
They're stagnant. That's all it is in this position. And Heap started to aggress further forward, and everyone's pretty much getting ripped to pieces. Stuck in connector. Bird from Sky's the last one left. 13 on the board for DIGNITAS. And you could also get the vibe that Mirage is starting to get pushed further into the pool for this Swedish side, because even though you look at it of, oh, they've played it 17 times in the last 3 months, it's the most played map in the pool. It's also 6 wins and 11 losses. The win rate's not fantastic at all for Dig, but they're trying to drive it into a more positive position the more we see them play Mirage.
And now really taking off here for DIGNITAS' squad. xStatic need to put a stop to this. 13-10, 3 to go before Dig can take this map in this series. Their own pick, of course. Double AWP setups coming out. Lecro and oldzera. Lecro set into the apartments. oldzera set into mid. Slight gap in the apartments abused by Lecro here. He's going to wait for that first contact, take that first shot, and hope for a kill.
Yeah, the double AWP setup was very disappointing from xStatic in the first half. So this is something that DIGNITAS are hoping does not happen to them. And the impact is actually being found by that lone anchor position towards the van. End of the apartments of Lecro. And friberg looking in, and actually, there we go. AWP striking straight away. Opening pick onto Dafu.
Bird from Sky is tempting fate with the jump faces out here. We'll try to go for the swing. Lecro's adjusted for it. He knows what he's going for. Bird from Sky just trying to pull the bait and switch, though. His teammates making their way into the A execution. 2 players out of Palace, 1 in from ramp. That's Wolfie in the ramp control. Bird from Sky still trying to sell some sort of B hit here. He's throwing out utility. The T's counteracted by the CT counter smokes. 40 seconds for the hit.
Yeah, no smoke down towards CT spawn indicates how they're going to deal with oldzera. Is it just going to have to be the flashes and the run out from Palace?
Ready and waiting to receive. Here they come, diving down. AWP missing the shot, and that's all they're going to rely on here. Heat with 1 kill. Man to the trade. Bird from Sky called out a connector. And friberg now to lean against the next 2 players. Blind spraying close towards the bomb planter position. Flash forward, but he's covered off by the danger box. So 3v2 on the retake.
Yeah, Lecro's waiting for some aggression, and it might just come to him. A lot of damage being done. The HE not even required. Manx to clutch again.
It's on for the ace as well. Molotov to force him out of dodge. f0rest and friberg in from connector. To attack from a very different position. Spotted now, sprayed through, connects damage, no more kills. 14 for DIGNITAS, 2 to go.
I really feel for Manx. He had a great clutch in the pistol. Since then, he's been put in, what, 2, 3, 1vx positions, and everyone's like, right, Manx, do it again, mate. It's not always going to happen. That's very difficult to isolate those 1v1s, and very well read from friberg to not overextend from that con smoke. Wait for the rotations to come through, allow the players to get into the right spots. Obviously, Lecro getting that leg onto Wolfie at Ticket was just the end of that entire round. The peak came back in. They worked together as a unit, peak on each other's contact, 14-10. And for xStatic's point of view, even going into round 25, it's not the best of looking buys, is it? It's not AKs for everyone, there's no AWP.
Yeah, this is going to look real awkward for them, especially with the nades dishing out the damage early. Fasher tagged the 35. Fast execution in from Manx now, spotting out f0rest. Now at least getting that 1 kill. Lecro the responsive in f0rest position. They trade places and they might lose the round for it. Hauls up with the AWP. Gets back in market though. Maintains the amount of advantage. The bomb will go down and the incendiaries will force him out of the sight into the path of the AK, who's desperate for a kill here.
There's still some util to work with. A couple of smokes and the spam continues. Bird from Sky just can't catch a break.
He leans in to remove him from play. The perfect one-tap. Wolfie on the box. Gets his kill. Is aware of Heap. Is unaware of friberg. Backing off to try win that fight, but doesn't make it happen. Heap with a triple. DIGNITAS now on map points.
Heap's doing well in this game for Dig, especially in the second half. A lot of high kills coming through in pressure situations. When it comes down to a retake and they need some space to work with, Mengs gets a very decent entry into the bomb site. The issue is, where's the follow-up? It's a 2v3 advantage for the CTs to work with, gets that tap forward, and then Wolfie just gets overextended. The wide swing coming out, another round up to Dig. And where's the tap pauses, Jay? We have had so many rounds in a row of 6 of Dig, and it just feels like for xStatic, they're not bringing enough to the table.
Yeah, pistol conversions and 1 rifle round. Those 4 in a row to start the half is all xStatic have got on the T side. And you're right, still 2 tacticals in their back pocket they could have used up to this point. They haven't used any of them. They haven't adjusted their line. I don't see them taking anything more here on Mirage. DIGNITAS' map pick will look to go their way. At least they have full AKs out. If there's a round to take, it have to be this one. Because they need it now.
And even with the small sample size we have of 3 maps in the last 3 months, it's typically Dafu and f0rest for the xStatic side that are the bigger performers out here on Mirage. And especially someone like f0rest, who we talk about all the time, he's having a very poor performance here. Only 8 kills going into round 26.
Very low numbers. Molotov set. Top mid position for the CT side. Heap's trying to extend his numbers. 26 frag deep so far. He is top fragger for Dig by a country mile. He's looking for others. Halls looks to change that. 2 picks in, 1 bullet fire. Collateral on f0rest and Manx. Wolfie at least finds the trade, but now it all rests on Lekro to defend that B site. Nice nade, doing a ton of damage. Bird from Sky and Dafu are goners. Dafu at least find a responsive, but Halzerk is so quick to the trigger, and 20 seconds to get into the bomb site to try and extend the lifeline of xStatic here on this map. Orb's shot connects perfect. Wolfie 1v3, AK in hand, swung upon. Halzerk at least missing that shot, but the CTs know exactly where he's at. 7 seconds to plant the bomb. Sprays through. Flash is keeping him blind. Backed off. He's out of time. He's out of this round. And xStatic are out of the map.
And